Hello and welcome back to the LCS. The Cloud9 TSM tiebreak could happen at the end of the day. We've got an exciting match here. Playoff implications on the line as Cloud9 faces CLG. It matters for both these sides a whole lot. Cloud9 currently deadlocked with TSM in a tie for second, and they can even be caught by FlyQuest if conditions come true at the very end of the day as well. So a lot can happen. On the CLG side, they have at worst a tiebreaker for playoffs, but if they win here, they lock the last playoff spot.
Yeah, a lot on the line here for both teams. Both of them want to keep it in their control. I'm super excited for this matchup to get underway because even though going into it, you're like, okay, Cloud9 should be heavily favored over CLG. There's a reason we play the games, and we've seen in the last few weeks, Cloud9 is very beatable.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, their record in the back half of the split is something like 3-5 compared to the 9-0 start. Their early games are still okay, but they have really not held on to a lead anymore. Their early games a little bit slower, a little bit worse. And if you look at, farther down to the mid game at 15, like beyond 15 into 2025, the sky looks like it's falling a lot of the times here. Cloud9 have not been able to keep up the mid-game dominance they had in the first 9 games and all of spring.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of focus on Nisqy as well. People, when Cloud9 were at their success, were always speculating on where does it come from, Blaber, or is it Nisqy? It's the combination and a lot in the early game. For me, definitely looking heavily at not only Nisqy's individual play, but also the champions that he's chosen or that Cloud9 have, chosen to play with him too.
Sure, that champ select obviously matters here as well. On the CLG side, talk about them a little bit. Of course, they are 1-7 in the back half. That one win was Deus up in the top lane. They have a different roster swap in for this week where Tuesday and Fragas are playing. Jury's somewhat out on how they're playing. Analysts said Tuesday was solid. I thought Fragas was okay, but in the day, this is looking like a poorly shaping up team who are trying to get things together. Again, at worst, they tiebreak for playoffs, but they have to be ready to go. They're going to tune up against C9 now, and then at the end of the day, if they can't close this one, they're going to face Dignitas and maybe Immortals to hope they can get that last spot.
Yep, a lot of work going into getting those last spots. Honestly, too, with CLG switching up the rosters, putting Tuesday back in. I thought Tuesday's performance in the opening game, yeah, he got 4-man gank, but I thought it was okay. So I'm still definitely cautiously optimistic to see what they can do. I like Fragas rushing the boots of swiftness as well as an attempt to get some more playmaking down for the set.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on there overall. And so, it's just kind of seeing what it's going to be. I mean, CLG, it's like they're showing us worlds already, okay? Because you win a couple games to give fans false hope, and then you don't get out of groups in the end. It's the kind of thing where they had that 4-2 start, and then they're at 5 wins since then, right? It's been such a drought for them, and I would love to see them shake it around, right? Because it was such a disappointing spring, and then summer started, and it was like, oh, they're 3-1, they're 4-2, they're doing it, they're picking up wins, they're ready to go, and then it kind of went back to spring split, where nothing could quite come together. I will say I'm happy they're trying things out, whether it's, look, can we find a better starting roster to get into playoffs and win a best of 5 there, or is it, look, can we get the academy talent a bit more games because we're going to move forward with Fragas in 2020. We're going to move forward with Tuesday in 2021, and they're going to build for next year. I'm okay with either situation, right? I just want to know that CLG has a plan. I'm glad they're doing something. I just want to know exactly what it is they're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of building that does need to go on with that team. On the side of Cloud9, after their win yesterday, it was a very close and scrappy win where you don't, from Cloud9's perspective, you don't want it to be that risky versus the bottom team. So I think this game is also really important for them, not only in getting the win to set themselves up for a possible forced tiebreaker with TSM later if TSM happen to win their game, but also a confidence builder heading towards the tiebreakers, heading towards playoff games. Cloud9, they need to regain that confidence and that playstyle that allowed them to dominate the LCS. They simply have not had it in the second half, and a lot of the teams now are no longer afraid of this team and very willing to take a lot more options into them.
Yeah, by all rights, people shouldn't really be afraid of current Cloud9. I know we heard from, I think, Santorin yesterday about FlyQuest and how they feel about who's scary, and he's like, no, I'm still afraid of Cloud9 because if they get back to form, they are once again the best team in North America. And that's the question is, does Cloud9 ever come back to becoming Cinderella, right? Do they ever go back to that 9-0 team, that spring split team? If they show up again, better watch yourselves, North America, because CNN's going to take your heads. But if not, if they stay at this level, you know, yeah, like they can fall as far as 4th, I believe, for their seeding into the postseason. They narrowly beat Dignitas, who might not even be in playoffs. They're facing CLG here. This could be another really close game, and I mean, that's going to shake your confidence, and you've got about 6 days to turn things around to be ready to go. If C9 don't get that first round bye, they have a 5-day turnaround before the first round. Less in some cases, depending on which day they would play on. So we'll see if C9 can do it. Again, they need to keep pace or do better than TSM to get that 2nd seed overall. Both those teams are tied at 12-5, and TSM plays Team Liquid later today, which will be a tough one. We'll see what happens. CLG doing their homework. An Olaf ban against Blaber makes all the sense in the world. C9 dominated with that pick. They had one without it, but they'd sure like to see it now.
Yeah, and I really do like these red side Caitlyn bans from teams not allowing first pick Caitlyn to go over anymore, because it's such an easy strategy to try and utilize where you have Caitlyn plus you know, some long range support to siege, and that can be one way that a lot of the other teams can get these early towers. So they ban out the Caitlyn and immediately pick up the first round Kalista here on the side of Cloud9, comboing that with a very aggressive jungler in Graves. Blaber has not had Graves games, but he had not also had Nidalee games either previously, and has jumped onto these champions for the early game power farming, invading jungle clear. And with Cloud9 now setting their bottom side up with one of Zven's best champions, one of the champions that we associate him with even from his origin days at the very beginning of his career, before he even changed his name. Kalista has been one of his you know, most outstanding picks, and that could be a lot of bottom side playmaking for them. On the side of CLG though, they're just locking in Tuesday, another comfortable control mage here for the mid lane, and the scaling side of it with the Aphelios on bottom.
So I find this very, very interesting. On the CLG side, Aphelios, of course, has fallen down the tier list a fair bit. Still decent win rate in pro play, still seen occasionally, but obviously with the nerfs, no longer that top prize. On the C9 side, I actually like this draft. You mentioned it before, Kobe. Graves was the one champion I thought was most curiously missing from Blaber's champion pool. I thought it fit the C9 style. I thought it fit Blaber as a player. I'm glad to see him picking it up here. Also, I'm happy to see C9 playing for early aggression, to get the early game snowball going and just trying to crush the game in 25. I think C9, if they're going to try to return to form by honing in on a style, I think it's something like this. And I want to see what else they pick around it. Of course, Licorice and Nisqy yet to pick their champions. Kalista top, unlikely, though possible. Honestly, might be solid into Volibear. Volibear is played top lane, but now we are in the 2nd round of the draft as the bans come through, and it's getting rid of supports that are good into Thresh, and on the CLG side, getting some mid lane bans to protect Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to get kill pressure for Nisqy. I think Cloud9 should go back to their style of having Nisqy on these push and roam style champions. You know, things like Echo, things like Twisted Fate even, where he can support this aggressive bottom lane focus that they've got. If you have a Kalista Thresh bottom lane and Graves already locked in, that can very easily be them trying to play around that bottom side, stack up dragons early as a win condition of trying to get to that soul. Meanwhile, we have seen the return of players practicing Akali ever since it was played by the closer with a Z in the LCK in SKT, subbing in for FLICKR. So I know that it hasn't been played a whole bunch on the Rift, and we just saw it yesterday with Jensen for Team Liquid, but I know for a fact that a lot of the solo laners have been putting time on it in practice. And with that banned out, Nisqy back on his Zoe here.
Sure.
It's not the you know, super aggressive mid lane champion, but is quite good at roaming with the extra W speed and safety that you can get from picking up summoners, and provides you a lot of pick potential to set up and supplement Graves invades.
I want to see Alistar. I want to see Alistar as the last pick here for CLG. I know we don't see it a lot, but he got buffed a few patches ago. He is actually very good into Thresh overall. It is an absurd amount of frontline. It is a lot of meatballs, and it's there for Orianna and Aphelios. It fits the lane, it fits the comp, and if there is a CLG draft that works here, it is a bunch of tanks into bad, consistent damage on C9. With lane matchups, you can survive and scale and take the team fights to CLG. If there is a way you close this out and get yourselves in a playoff without a tiebreaker, beating C9 on the way in, I like this draft that can do it. Cloud9 putting some more eggs in Licorice basket. I think this is smart as well, as Gangplank will have a field day farming against Ornn.
Yeah, very clearly, CLG AoE teamfight. Name of the game here. They need to get to objectives first and set up at them so they can try and force Cloud9 to funnel to them through small areas, and you can get off all of your AoE. Meanwhile, Cloud9, that bottom lane focus freak, it is out of control. They get the Gangplank even for it on top side. You send the ultimate down bottom. Dragon control should, in this game, start out 1, 2, 3 going for Cloud9. They should be forcing plays around that side of the map, even with the Alistar pick. I think it is definitely the area of focus for them. So I want to keep very close attention to Blaber's first game on Graves, how he's going to path early, focus on a bottom side Scuttle Crab to start that out with the early vision, and even try and get some deeper wards onto the enemy camps. Because CLG, if you mess around and you give this comp over some money, that is an insane AoE wombo combo. Ornn ultimates, Alistar ball delivery systems. It's definitely has the possibilities here for CLG.
CLG drafting very heavy team fight, and I cannot fault them for it. Again, I like this draft a lot. A lot of the matchups look good. They tried to protect Tuesday with some bans to make the Orianna feel safe. Nisqy goes down to Zoe, which should be handleable, and now CLG on the map looking for some early information to know what kind of path Blaber is taking. On the Cloud9 side, Zven going for over a teamfight-focused Keystone. Lethal Tempo and Halo Blades are by far the most common on Kalista. Hail, really good for crushing a lane. You get 3 autos really, really fast. Lethal Tempo could be better for a longer teamfight later on. So a bit of a late-game skew there. And Stixxay doing fairly standard things on his side.
All right. Now, as far as my desire for a level 1 invade, we did at least have the recall for Blaber to switch over to a sweeper. So maybe if they can go for a delayed invade sweep as they're going in, they might find something.
Maybe so. I mean, Blaber is leading the way, looking to spot out where a ward might be. Always exciting to get a ward kill with your mid or top laner nearby. A little bit of palette damage, not going to mean too much. Maybe gets 25 mana for Mana Stone.
This is exactly what I want to see with the Graves pick. The delayed invade. He switched over to the sweeper. It gives it away. They steal away the red buff. A lot of people, when they see Graves, they think, oh, it's a marksman jungler. You've got to scale up. You're farm oriented. But he should be played very aggressively in the early stages, trying to use your range advantage to farm a lot of enemy camps rather than your own. It is going to be a delayed single start here for Fragas. They did have the ward on the red buff over, and with the movement there from Tuesday, he sided out the invade. Blaber going to try and head straight red to red, catch that Volibear on the way out. Luckily for Volibear, though, top lane pushing, and maybe they catch a little scent of him here. Just going to be an extra camp for Blaber because the start was so delayed for Fragas, as well as bottom lane for Cloud9 helping out a little bit with Blaber.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, kind of just taking a look at how that whole thing kind of started out, because it was really interesting. It's like Fragas saying, okay, I know what this looks like. I know how this jungle pathing plays out. I got to get to red ASAP to get that before it gets stolen. And then Blaber kind of knows that, well, I'm Graves. I'm a fast clear. I can take 2 camps and then secure my own top jungle, and it'll be fine. I'll be there before anything else gets poached. And so Blaber gets a full actual camp lead. Every jungler wants chickens. It's easy to get to, and it's easy to kill. Sometimes like stealing Krugs or Gromp, it was going to be left up anyway, and it's not really much of a steal. In fact, you let it respawn higher level. With something like chickens, you actually get that as gold difference.
Yeah. For Volibears, early on, they don't like it as much until you get like your Bomby Cinder for the AoE explosion and then your E on top of it, and you just love it, and it just blows up the camp. But Graves can do any camp in the entire game and take almost no damage, so he's happy to get that away. Blaber also left behind a couple of the small ones, so to your counter jungling point, he fully delays the respawn of that camp so it won't return at a higher level. And Fragas with the machete start, of course, looking for more action rather than farming.
So Licorice is in a 1v2 under turret. Is it going to be enough? Can they actually kill him? They go for the Volibear start. The double knockup's going to come in. Fragas going to drop aggro. The oranges come in, though, and they've got to flash away. Licorice survives the 2v1 dive, getting a flash out of Ruin in the process.
And a good job holding on to his W there. There's not a tremendous amount of surprise burst damage that can come out from a Volibear Ornn, both of them being level 4 and 3. So Licorice, he saves his heal till the last second, till he's very low, gets the full value out of it. They cannot tank up the turret any longer, and flash blown by CLG in the attempted dive. And Licorice comes out of it unscathed.
All right, he comes out okay. CLG already on C9, I should say, on an 800 gold lead early on. Mid lane is getting clapped. Bot lane getting clapped a fair bit as well. With, to be fair, farm left to grab. This won't be a full 13 CSD in actuality, but you can see, yes, a 150 gold difference in mid as resets come through for both sides. Tuesday just getting out lane straight up. We knew his laning stats were weak in Academy. Still came through with the wins, though. More of a mid-game team fight player. But CLG already has problems in the early game. They're not getting any better just yet as the gold lead sits a bit strong.
Yep, and Orianna picked a lot for later game utility as well. Licorice builds up a double wave here, but there's no presence from Blaber or anything to come for a dive or to press him off, so Ruin should be able to pick up most of it and actually pull ahead in the CS, benefiting from Licorice missing quite a few on the dive and ensuing teleport back. A lot of pings already coming out to the Dragon, though. For Champ Select, as I said, that should be the clear focus from Cloud9. Your Thresh, Kalista should just bully that bottom side. Zven and Vulcan push them right into the tower. They reset for their recall, for their first items first. You get your boot upgrade here for Zven, so you get your full hop speed, and then they can easily take the Dragon with Blaber at a very quick pace. That's what they want to do, get their soul as quickly as possible.
Really nice pathing by Blaber. Already has a full 10 camps done, counting the Drake. There's the flash top side. Now, Licorice still has his own flash if he needs it. Has to get away from the charge. Does, in fact, have to do that. A trade of flashes long term. Puts up the tent. You've ganked me twice, and honestly, you burned 2 flashes to my 1. We take those.
Yeah, Licorice is playing the weak side really well. Nisqy's going to come make it a strong side.
This man's getting attacked. He's exhausted. Not quite asleep, but he's dead before the stun could come through. And the crying Jinx face is nice try, buddy. You put up the camp top lane. Let me show you how a top lane gank goes. And Nisqy gets that team first blood.
Yep, the roaming Nisqy once again strikes. Blaber gonna make sure Tuesday doesn't get a counter play moving down towards the bottom side. And let's see if we can do anything about the actual counter jungling. Tuesday does have ultimate available. So another look at the gank. I think top laners, by the way, have at least like 3 or 4 of their emotes set as the camping emote, as that is the most useful one in this lane. Fragas, though, once again, swing and a miss. Licorice just eats the orange, trades flash for flash in that move. And then you see on the minimap right here, blue question mark pings up the river. So that is CLG, that is Tuesday saying Nisqy could be roaming up, and yet they still have Fragas clearing the control ward in the river. This is one of the most common.
Woo! Good cleanse. Okay, he's fine. I mean, that's scary.
I like, yeah.
I've got to get cleansed. He's fine. But you're sleeping on a Thresh. You're dead. Most champions.
Yeah, I like the ride. I really felt the excitement with that one too.
Yeah, the kills were exciting.
Honestly, though, that play on top side, I just want to dive into it even more because that is something I see in a lot of solo queue games too, with junglers that will go for their gank, and after they get something off their gank, they're not really thinking about the rest of their opponents. And very clearly, CLG and Fragas were just meandering down there, killing off the control ward in the brush, with the question mark pings also going down. So the communication either not strong enough of like, hey, get your ass out of there, or the timing was just off, and he was like, oh, maybe Zoe just left. Either way, Cloud9 have kind of stepped back up to the type of play that we saw from them when they were at their most dominant. It is aggressive Blaber playing off bottom lane pressure, and then Nisqy also roaming around, helps out Licorice, who's playing the weak side quite effectively.
All right, well, Herald going to be attacked now as a 1,300 gold lead says Cloud9 are winning this game by a whole lot. They only have this by 15 minutes. They've got it in half the time right now. I'm curious what the next 7 look like. Hook over the wall. Woo! He's here already. He's going to be sleeping. He's played backwards. Battlestar is in, and Vulcan maybe steals it. The guy had flash. I accept the auto attack coming in. Gold comes through to Cloud9, and turret's about to be attacked.
Yeah, yoink, that is my kill. You're welcome for the roam, buddy. Ignite is used by Vulcan as well. And this is punishing the cleanse that was burned. No flash able to come out from Tuesday as Cloud9 burn him straight down with the continued focus here. They do seem to be in a much more proactive mindset.
All right, looking good so far. Cloud9 in a great spot here as they crest a nearly 3,000 gold lead. Warrior is done on Blaber at 9 minutes and change. He's gigantic right now. I mean, 77 CS, he's outfarming most players in the game. And he's not really poaching the lanes. It's not like C9's bleeding farm to him. So really, really good stuff by Blaber. The exact kind of thing I think Cloud9 fans wanted to see out of him was this level of dominance on a jungler that can do a lot in the first 6 levels. So far, so good. He's already level 8. He's keeping up with solos. Like, this man is absurdly ahead.
Yeah, that's again back to the same like champion point that we were talking about in the last game, where I'm always so hesitant to be like, oh, you know, just because they haven't played it all split doesn't mean, you know, X player can't pick it up and perform well with it. Sure. Blaber with Rift Herald in hand too. My favorite play, helping push a mid laner on a cannon wave so you can get the wave right up to the tower. I personally would have stuck around a little bit longer to accidentally.
That's why you smite cannons, Kobe.
Or yeah, you can just smite for a quick run by. But generally, when you get it pushed up and you have a tower this low, you can try and chunk down the last little bit there, and then you get a lot of value out of your Rift Herald. If you obviously, ideal scenario can get it proccing on the last 2 to 3 plates and get the entire tower. That just snowballs the game so incredibly hard.
Yep, Herald does between 2 and 2.7 thousand damage based on when you kill it. True damage, plates all have 1k health each. There we go, a near sight on the bottom side. Fragas is going to cube it. Into the front line goes the Graves, just a flash right back out. Smoothie going to be attacked. He is very tanky, but he's still only a level 6 support, and he will go down. Zven finds himself his first kill of the game, and they're going for Fragas now as well. The Volibear on the way out, got a flash to safety, and does stay alive. One plate nearly down to the bottom side. CLG trying to scale, but running out of places to go.
Yeah, and if you're trying to scale, you can't be fighting around the strongest point for C9. Their Kalista Thresh bottom lane. It's going to be a massacre, Freak.
Now they're trying to scale, but it's going to be CLG dropping down the face of the mountain. They don't get anywhere out of base camp. It's the bot lane turret running out of health right now. C9 going to claim first turret at 11.5 minutes thanks to a 4-person dive. GP even helped. Thanks for the cash money. This is feeling great for Cloud9.
They're sticking to their game plan straight out of Champion Select. You sow the early Kalista Thresh, then you supplement that with a Gangplank top. Let's see, Licorice though, he's on the weak side.
He's got flash, he's got oranges, he's got no health bar left. CLG finally get a kill on the board, but it's 5,500 gold late.
Yeah, that's where you want to trade against a team comp that's built like this. You have to trade for the other side. Since you're trying to scale, if you trade objectives rather than trying to fight on the opponent's really strong area of Dragon, then CLG can try and actually get money for themselves rather than Cloud9 just taking everything. So C9, they get the fight on the bottom side. Blaber here, he does dash in a little bit aggressively. This dash right here into the Alistar is a bit much, even when you're trying to play around the Thresh Kalista. But since he still has flash, he flashes right back out. And honestly, that kind of baits CLG in further. So maybe it was a big 5-head play there from Blaber to bait Fragas and Stixxay further out into the open and allow Cloud9 to collapse. Then Nisqy heads on right down to make it a 4-person dive on the turret. Rift Herald popped. They know for Tuesday and Stixxay, we just got to scramble. Every man for himself, try and get out Tuesday. He does get hit with the play. Does get the ultimate shockwave, but Nisqy chases him down. And as you know, all the members on CLG on the bottom side are toast.
Going for a bit more. Fragas almost put to sleep. Dodges away from it, though. Gets around. The Q's going to land. Blaber still on the chase. One more audible kill. Gets it picked up. Another one on the board, 6-1 in this game. This is the Cloud9 that we saw all of spring and the first half of summer. This exact Cloud9, this exact level of dominance against teams they are better than, which was every other team in North America. This is the first glimpse I've seen of it in a month and a half.
Yeah, they're definitely on form here, heading into playoffs. CLG trying to pick up the slack here, towards the end. Some roster changes, trying to fiddle with whatever kind of levers they can change for this team heading towards next year. But looks like Cloud9 rotating everybody up to the top side. Your bottom turret's already been taken. You've got 10 seconds to try and touch that last turret plate. There's no more room for Zven to get it, though. 14 minutes will come in. The turret plates will drop. That being said, your turrets that have already dropped plates become actually easier to kill at 14 minutes when those defenses do drop off. So sometimes you can see the teams actually accelerating at this point. I know mid lane turret also only had 3 left. So it is already a bit weakened as well. And with Rift Trail number 2 spawning, C9 can actually get a reset off before they return to that objective.
And Kobe, I want to zoom out very briefly because the 6,000 gold lead at 14 minutes is an absurdly large lead. If CLG cannot come back, hold on, Tuesday's getting attacked. It's going to be hard for him. He's going to get slowed down. They got some spells going on to him. Shockwave's very good, though, Tuesday. Playing that one very well. And now, Headbutt, Pulverize. Could have waited on one of those, but still going to find that first kill. Licorice flashing to safety. The re-engage. Great knockup by Ruin. Absolutely perfect. Fragas comes in for the second kill. CLG maybe have found pieces of a comeback, but the re-engage for Cloud9 is going to find them one of those kills right back in their pockets. The rest of CLG gets away. They still go +1. Just something to show for themselves, and maybe some shutdown gold on Blaber for his farm as well.
Yep, they're able to get at least some kills, but C9 don't want to let them end it here. Zoe trying to poke around for a little bit of extra damage, and with that demolition proc as well, Cloud9 take the mid turrets and head over to said Rift Trail, even over the Scuttle Crab vision here, for CLG. Zven's going to start it off.
Alrighty, so if CLG cannot complete the comeback, which, hey, from what we just saw, I guess it's possible. It's going to be obviously quite difficult. If they cannot complete the comeback, they are for sure in a tiebreaker with Dignitas and maybe Immortals to see if they can fight for that last playoff spot. The C9 side get a game above TSM, and it means TSM would have to beat Team Liquid for a shot at second. As Tuesday survives very well here.
Yeah, he's able to Shockwave once again to get some CC, kind of bait and keep in Blaber and Licorice, and then Smoothie heads in for the knock up there on Alistar. They do get it. They even chase down the last one, but Fragas jumping forward with the Volibear provides a target that cannot escape. Cloud9 finish off that one, and they even get the flash out of Ruin in the chase down here. Kalista very good at chasing down counter kills. So while it was a positive moment for CLG, it's kind of a drop in the bucket as Cloud9 were able to answer on the backside. They even picked up Rift Herald number 2.
Alrighty. Looking back around the game state there, 2 Drakes already picked up, third one spawns in just 20 seconds, and C9 have not shown any time of slowing down in this game. Have felt comfortable so far, ready to go around this bottom river. They've got most of the squad around. Nisqy has Summoner Teleport if he needs to show up with the team. Tuesday, meanwhile, cannot. So if those lanes are matched, C9 know they can get a 5v4. Even without that, their 4v4 is far better, and CLG going to be nowhere near them. Instead, I like this. CLG send members top lane. They try to attack Nisqy. And as C9 says, hey, no one's contesting, no one's even in this river. Maybe they're going for you. Indeed they are. He backs off.
And this is kind of my point from earlier. Not only can you not try and contest that dragon for CLG, but you should not. Even if you have the means to do so, even if you can get everyone to that dragon area, you cannot win that fight. So you need to trade valuable items on the top side of the map. That's how you're supposed to play around when the other team has champion advantages on one side. You need to trade for the objectives on the other side of the map to get some gold back for yourself and scale up so you can actually bring your team fight together later on. This is third dragon, so it is not the soul, not the one that you critically have to try and deny for a big power boost. And CLG this time do get the top turret, but Cloud9 have built up such a big early lead that it does feel a little bit late for them. They're going to have to now pull out that miracle team fight. If you're in Champ Select and you're looking at theoretically setting up your biggest, most valuable AoE Wombo combo, that's what you now have to pull off for CLG. So if you have the vision to do it and you can group up as 5, and try and catch Cloud9 making positional errors, then you really do get to punish. We saw well-placed shockwaves from Tuesday trying to, you know, get his escape off, and then the AoE comes in. Smoothie follows up with his Alistar, and they do get the dive. But Cloud9 not really giving them that opportunity, moving in and clearing out a lot of that vision.
They run the blue buff right now. Tuesday wants it, hooks right back out of vision. Blaber smites it away at about 7 health left as he Q combos and gets that one now. A sleeping champion. It'll be blocked by Fragas. Goes for a stun, get a bit of time towards Nisqy. He's running away, but Fragas will find the Q. No, the Q timed out. I believe Ori burned it during the first fight. Regardless, Nisqy still feels safe, gets another sleep, gets a lot of damage there. And wow, by himself, kites away the Volibear, walks away. That's going to feel bad.
And Cloud9 should pressure all 3 lanes here. No hesitation from Zven up on that top side with the Blade of the Ruin King finished here. Stacks up really quickly for his extra attack speed and takes that thing down to 50% before CLG can rotate.
Ooh, Stixxay is in danger. Nisqy the same has his flash though and holds on to it. No one was there. Oh, Licorice! Oh, Stixxay had heal and flash and a mini-map and a monitor to look at. And he doesn't use anything and he dies to Gangplank gold.
Yeah, better look up here as Licorice calls down the ultimate. Able to finish off that kill. And Stixxay in the death chambers means this one wide open.
Another good hook, another good flay, but a combo comes in towards the Graves. Blaber flashes the safety. Vulcan gets the kill on Tuesday. This is a 5v3 CLG. Stop trying to fight this. You've got no damage left in the comp. Blaber charges forward bravely. They find a hook and they find a kill on a Smoothie as well. The comp may be nice, but the gold is not willing. A 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. Cloud9 are crushing CLG.
Yep, and that's going to be Baron. 20 minutes on the mark. Baron spawns. Now you see him. Now you don't. Cloud9 will get this one uncontested as CLG fall down once again in front of their tower. Yeah, I mean, in that last dive, Tuesday got chunked out so hard, and Nisqy is able to finish him off. So even though Smoothie and Fragas and Ruin are all there and they get this stun onto Blaber, they have Ignite on Blaber. He's at only like 400, 300 HP left. There's no damage left to finish him off. You know, this is 3 tanks, 3 melee champs trying to chase him down, and they get a little bit overextended there as C9 collect even more. This should be another quick game. Resetting here off of Baron. Cloud9 have no reason to stall it out, and they can head straight back down. I would like to see them, again, fan out and push those multiple lanes. Here's another look at the death sentence that comboed it. Nisqy was able to land the Sleepy Trouble right after, and since that Paddle Star is guaranteed, now you've got nobody who can actually kill Blaber, just 3 melees chasing them out away from the safety of their tower, and C9 will punish them, pushing right back in. Hook lands, boom, extra kill.
And obviously we saw Baron come down as well, and all right, Cloud9, time to close it out. We just had the fastest game of the split, or as Dash would say, the fastest split of the game. And the previous
Hell
one,
yeah.
Cloud9 are not far behind making the same pace happen. A sub 21-minute Baron pickup, ready to push down for the base itself.
You know, I like that joke as well because Dash is a runner and you know, runs splits.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he appreciates it.
I mean, that's literally the terminology used when speedrunning. Like, oh, that's my fastest split of the game. That's good. You know, like the second star in Mario 64 is maybe the fastest split in the game.
So let's see about their next dragon split, because dragon's about to spawn. This is the full dragon. So what's the timing on this? Nisqy gonna provide us some entertainment during the dragon take as he shows off the Zoe mechanics.
And gets rooted and doesn't care. This is not going to be a gold split. You know, this is Blaber soloing it by himself. Cloud Drake is fairly easy to kill. It's the, you know, it's not terribly tanky, but it goes down. And 2220, by the way, is a very fast Dragon Soul. That is maybe the fastest of the split. In actual terminology, getting out of the meme territory, 2220 is a very, very, very fast Dragon Soul. Cloud9 already have that, and they're running fast.
And that's kind of the game plan that we laid out in Champ Select for them when you're showing that bottom focus. This is one of the things that people will point to heading into playoffs, saying, hey, look how focused they are on their win condition. They started the dragon stacking super early. They bullied on the bottom side. Licorice also played the weak side half of it quite well, dodging out multiple ganks. Here's another look, though. CLG, they're desperate. They need to make some sort of a pick. Swing and a bit of a miss here, though, as Cloud9 try and punish.
Smoothie very low, Fragas at half HP as well. Nisqy still wants in, won't quite find damage on a Ruin or even on a Stixxay, but in the top lane, it's been split push duty for Licorice. Max CDR, by the way, not max damage, but the ulti up as fast as possible. Trinity Force into Essence Reaver very early, get the spells in there, and he's been able to support the team whenever they need that to happen. Top lane inhibitor turret is gone, and looks like Cloud9, now that Baron buff is off the table, have decided to go for a quick reset. Not much more sieging to do. Let's wait and grab our items.
I mean, that's also how he's gotten his single kill. Where's an ultimate down there onto Stixxay. Can you call him a Canadian sniper if he sniped with a cannon barrage that's a giant AoE?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Finally close counts, you know? Horseshoes, hand grenades, and cannon barrages, really, which is functionally hand grenades, just from a cannon.
Like it. That accuracy.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. Alrighty, well, that's going to be Vulcan, you know, trying to pull the wave away from the turret. Come on, Zven, come get this gold. If I was Vulcan, I'd take all the last hits, but Vulcan's better than me, and he says, here, Zven, get 100 gold.
Honestly, yeah, what I'm thinking about now is I'm just really hoping that the Team Liquid TSM match can deliver. And we can get some tiebreakers going on, because with Cloud9 performing this well in their opening game, I think the only thing that critics might have to say is that, hey, yeah, it's against CLG though, so I want to see it immediately here versus TSM in a tiebreaker. But we are definitely going to have to wait for that one.
Yeah, of course.
One of our most exciting matchups coming up next.
Yep, of course we know we are guaranteed tiebreakers. As CLG are desperately losing this game, they are guaranteed to play against at least Dignitas. Next game, the one with TSM and TL, that is going to be TSM trying to keep up with Cloud9 to face that one. On the FlyQuest Immortal side, Immortals are fighting for their playoff lives. I mean, a lot of teams still deciding their fates here today. Not just seeding, but playoff lives as well, as more chunks go into the mid turret. That one's going to go down 25 minutes in, and the base is laid bare for the most part. They are up in a minute. Smoothie nearly gets one shot by Nisqy here. Death cap on the way to completion. Now the attacks towards the inhibitor itself. Waiting to close it out at the end. Licorice still splitting the top-hand side. And CLG really unwilling and, to be fair, unable to fight back Cloud9. Hoping for some kind of overextension, hoping for some kind of mistake that they can capitalize on. 2-item Aphelios not going to be a big enough carry right now. Now trying for the stun. They find big damage to the front side. Shockwave catches one, and they will knock down Blaber. Can CLG get more? The front line is so durable. The Smoothie will still go down, and now it's time for Ruin to be attacked as well. The hook is going to land. He is going to be attacked. He cannot find the knockup. Stixxay tries his hardest, but cannot quite do enough damage. It's 2 kills in for Cloud9, make it a third as Nisqy closes down the opposing AD carry. And Fragas is going to be attacked. He is low. He is flashed on, and there is 4 kills in. Vulcan gets, I believe, his second of the game. Cloud9 nearly ace CLG.
And Nisqy's just dancing on the bodies here with the Zoe, picking up summoner spell after summoner spell. That's going to be it, Freak. Cloud9 take down CLG. They improve to right now for the sole holders of second place.
Yes, they do. C9 get temporary control of second. They are in control of their playoff destiny as one final attempt by CLG is not going to be enough. Counterlogic Gaming will face Dignitas and maybe Immortals in a tiebreak for the last playoff spot. And Cloud9 await to see if TSM can step up to challenge them. Otherwise, it's the second seed for Cloud9.
All right, setting ourselves up for some big stakes games coming up very shortly for you.
It's going to be exciting. A lot of fun stuff here today. Of course, question is, again, stake setting here for the other games of the day, because we are always going to have at least one tiebreaker. Also, we have 2 regularly scheduled matches. If TSM can beat Team Liquid, we will have that tiebreak for second. If TL beats TSM, Cloud9 have secured second with the better overall record. We'll see which one it comes to be and what TSM and TL can give for us. On the other side, we know CLG's in a tiebreak. We'll see if Immortals can keep up with them and Dignitas. Now we're heading into a break, but in a few minutes, we will have Blaber in the Verizon postgame interview, so don't go anywhere.
Your Honda MVP!
Dreams aren't achieved overnight. They take passion.
Ich nicht so,
dedication. And even then, there are no guarantees. But for the LCS, that's the power of dreams.
Too bad!
It means you never give up. It means you always play again. Honda, proud automotive partner of the LCS.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone. We are still going strong with week number 9, and now another Verizon post-game interview with Blaber after that C9 victory. First things first, I want to touch on this game in particular. We got to see the Graves from you, which we have not seen in recent times. So why bring that out here today?
It's just a new pick. I think Graves is pretty strong right now overall. I've been practicing it a lot recently, so I just decided to play it today.
So when it comes to this game, and yes, you decided to bring the Graves out, but overall it was a strong performance from Cloud9. We heard from the side of 100 Thieves earlier with Cody Sun and kind of the importance of that momentum going into playoffs. For you, having a victory like this before you set off into playoff territory, how does that affect your mentality?
I think we are on the upswing right now. I think that we weren't playing really well before, but right now I don't think we're super great, but I do think we're getting better. And I think the team feels like that. So I think having a really easy win, it's good for us, I think.
And that's the thing, you're talking about maybe some of the difficult times of recent, but other players and your peers are still respecting you. Santorin saying that they still fear you as a team when you are performing at the level we know that you can. But when it comes to trying to balance and knowing what you're capable of with the mental aspect and pushing through these times, what has that been like for you and the rest of the team, even with kind of an understanding where the improvement needs to come from?
I mean, regarding the mental side, I think we're all the same. As teammates, we're all acting the same. We're still all shitposting the same amount. and we're treating each other the same. I think we just know that we aren't playing as well, maybe as a team or individually, and that's just something that we are working on right now. And I do think we're improving, so I'm hoping we'll be able to be dominant again. But yeah, regarding mental, I think we're all doing great.
And as far as how Cloud9 is performing overall, you are still in the top of the standings. You're still battling here, there, going into playoffs, and you're dependent upon the next game to come, TSM versus Team Liquid. What are your thoughts on the capability of TSM taking down Team Liquid so that you would get to go into a tiebreaker for that bye potential?
I mean, honestly, I think we're all expecting there to be a tiebreaker. I think both teams, I think it's pretty close. I mean, we haven't scrimmed TSM in a while, but I think either team could win, but I think we're all preparing for a tiebreaker to happen in the case that TSM wins.
It's always great to keep that preparation there nonetheless, right? Thanks, Blaber, for taking the time for me. I'll let you go ahead and get preparing for what the future holds.
Cool, thank you.
All right, everyone, when we come back from the break, we do have that matchup between TSM and Team Liquid to see how things continue in our final moments of the regular summer split. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Assist of the Day, presented by State Farm. Sometimes the perfect engage does exist, and Spica shows us how it's done from the top rope.
There's a flash away, and rooted up means nothing else. Into the back line goes Broken Blade, wants those kills, gets one. Looks for number two, Nisqy's very, very low. Licorice on the way out, and they're gonna pick up a couple of kills still. Flash away, but still rooted in place. TSM wiping the floor with Cloud9.